All right, doing something new today. The Bitter Birds are doing it live. We're doing a video hangout. Oh my God, tough loss yesterday. Oh my God, we have been binge drinking. We will not stop drinking, and quite frankly, we may not stop drinking until the Redskins win tonight. What do you think? Mike Owens is here. I'm Adrian Fedkiw. We're doing it live.
Here we are. Let's do it live, baby.
Oh my God. Oh, oh, oh. Just a bitter loss yesterday. 24-20. So many things that went wrong. It's one of those games. It's one of those what if games. What if this happened? What if that happened? But in the end, it was a defeat.
Yeah, well, all season the Eagles have been getting away with turning the ball over. And finally, it came back to haunt us. Now, you can beat some bad teams with turnovers like we did against teams like the Redskins, teams like the Rams. You can get away with that. But you're not going to get away with that with a team like the Cardinals on the road. Very tough team, especially to beat there in Phoenix. So, yeah, the red zone turnovers really the big difference in this game. Now it's funny because you go down and you look at the team stats from this game. The Eagles dominated most of the game, but there were a few categories where they did not dominate, and they were the most important categories. They were, the turnovers and the penalties and the conversion rate in the red zone.
Yeah, I mean the penalties they blinded me. I was temporarily blinded. I had to wear glasses last night. I couldn't even have sex. I mean, when I tried having sex, I put it in the wrong hole. It was awful. Eight penalties for 80 yards in the first half. Those two red zone turnovers that you were talking about. I mean, Josh huffed, he puffed, and he blew the ball away. And then you had Nick Foles, didn't set his feet, hips were all the way over here to the left, and he threw the ball, and it went right to the other team. Oh, that was awful. Awful. Oh, bitter beer face.
Well, you can already hear the chants for Sanchez coming here in South Philadelphia. You know how these Philadelphia fans are. They're already lining up on the radio to talk about how they want Sanchez in to start over Foles. Now, me and you, we may be one of the last ones to jump off this Foles bandwagon because he is making some critical mistakes right now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's not playing bad, but he's not playing great. So that's the problem. We're kind of stuck in neutral right now. And honestly, I don't know how to feel about this guy right now. He does some good things, he does some bad things, but then he makes, critical errors in this Cardinals game.
Yeah, the thing I saw yesterday, he had a case of the happy feet. There were even the Cardinals. They were blitzing and pressuring him all game long. He was constantly backpedaling. Just he wasn't setting his feet. I mean, when Nick is right, he's in he's got his feet set. He's in rhythm, and he loves the play action. And with this makeshift offensive line, he's kind of had trouble all year getting those feet set. But yesterday I thought that they were going to exploit Cardinals. 31st ranked pass defense, only 7 sacks in the year. I mean, they didn't get a sack on him yesterday. 62 pass attempts. They didn't sack him once, but they did hurry him. They did pressure him a lot. And, even when the pressure wasn't there, he just didn't seem confident in himself yesterday. There was something off about him. He's really been off most of the year, besides that Redskins game. And, yeah, not a good game from Nicky Foles.
No, yeah, really not a great one for him. So, yeah, that's what it makes it tough to, swallow right now. Really, on his interceptions, really, they were just really bad interceptions. And, that's kind of the problem that, Foles is having this year. Chip Kelly has kind of mentioned this after the game that these interceptions that he's throwing this year, they're not all the same. They're different types of interceptions. So that's what makes it, kind of hard to fix in this situation. I mean, yesterday, those are just balls that he has to make the throw on, and he's got to put it in that, that tight window. the one in the end zone, that's just a devastating interception. He can't be throwing that. That's what really, that'll cost you a game. He puts that in the right spot. The Eagles win this game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, those two red zone trips to the red zone, you get those 6 points there. It's 26-24. But obviously, the big point of the game, around the 2 minute mark, Chris Polk goes up the middle for, it was a 2nd and 4 at the Arizona 5. He goes up the middle, he picks up, 3 or so yards. Now, a lot of things about this play because, first of all, it looked like he had the first down. And for whatever reason, Chip Kelly didn't challenge it. And then obviously LaShawn McCoy doesn't get, the yard on the next play. I am just really curious as to why Chip didn't even challenge that. I mean, obviously the biggest point of the game. And when you look at the replay and you look at the shot of the camera, you see the the markers at the 1 yard line, and you could clearly tell that Polk was like inches away from the goal line. That was clearly to me a first down, and I don't know why it wasn't challenged. Big mistake there by Chip.
Yeah, huge mistake. Chip Kelly he hired this replay assistant. Now the replay assistant must have had off yesterday, or he was doing something else in his booth there in Tempe, Arizona. I don't know if he had a special visitor in his box there, or what the hell happened. He was pulling a Jerry Jones. He was out with some hookers, but he had he had Ebola. Something was wrong with him. Where his TV was a little bit fuzzy. Wasn't able to see the play, but I don't know what the hell happened to that guy, but just a bad day for him, really, and Chip Kelly, and by the officials. That play still has me very confused because you watch it. Now, Chris Polk, when his forearm went down, that ball was literally 1 inch away from the goal line. And now it wasn't, a 3rd and goal situation. This was, third and whatever. They still could have got a first down. So not really sure what the hell they're doing with the chains there, but just a mess up really by everybody on that play.
Yeah, I mean, we're enamored by Chip Kelly. It's Man Crush Monday. He's my guy. I mean, if I could have a cuddle session with him, I would do it in a heartbeat. But but those 3 plays, you didn't challenge the spot of the ball. Then you have a third and 1 or whatever it was, and you're in shotgun. You're in shotgun on 3rd and 1 at the goal line. I didn't get that at all. And I'm a guy that's a big advocate of the quarterback sneak. I think a quarterback sneak gets that first down like 75% of the time. Now, he was asked after the game why he didn't run the quarterback sneak there, and his answer was basically, we tried it against Dallas last year and it backfired. Now, I mean, that's one play. That's one stinking play. You're gonna not run a quarterback sneak because it didn't work once. I'm not really buying that explanation. And then you have a third play. Now, we were watching this game in the newsroom at the Sports Network newsroom yesterday together, and we were the only two that wanted the Eagles to go for it on 4th down. And let me tell you, it wasn't just 4th and inches. It was, it was 4th and less than an Asian man's penis. It was like this, and they didn't go for it. We had a bad feeling that the Cardinals were going to come right down and they were going to score on us, and they did. Now, that one, maybe I'm being a little bit too rough on Chip because, I think about 80% of coaches would probably kick the field goal there. But with our defense, I don't trust our secondary. And obviously, Nate Allen, Kerry Williams, they got burned by John Brown of Pittsburgh State. And we're talking Pittsburgh State of Kansas. This isn't Pennsylvania. This is a Division II school. But I like John Brown a lot. He's turned some heads already. And, yeah, had that 75-yard touchdown. God damn. Oh, those 3 plays are just this is why I'm binge drinking right now. I have not stopped drinking since the game ended yesterday.
Yeah, go back to your first point, about, trying to do a quarterback sneak in that situation. They, uh, I don't know. It's tough. They definitely should have done it. The only thing that I can think of why he didn't do it in that situation is because they have Molk there at center still, and he's a shorter type of guy. He's not like Kelsey. He's not as strong. He's definitely not as strong as Kelsey. Nowhere near that. And maybe that's it. But I mean, this is like an inch we're talking about. You would think that they would be able to push forward for that. Yeah, just a little small Asian inch, and they couldn't
Well,
do it. I guess he didn't have any confidence, and then you kick the field goal. All right, you can't be too mad about that. They take the lead, but the part that kind of really pisses me off is on the defensive end. Now they were bringing an all-out blitz in that situation, which I don't agree with. I really thought that they should have been playing, back a little bit. You got to prevent a home run ball in that type of situation. I mean, worst comes to worst, you take the game to overtime.
and then you got Nate Allen's eyes in the backfield as if it's like a running play or something. And I
Yeah,
don't know what he was thinking. You're back there playing safety, okay? You're not going in the box. You're not stopping some underneath stuff. You have to play back to prevent that long touchdown. Oh, yeah, that is right in the ass, didn't it? And
yeah,
going back to your point about the quarterback sneak, well, you know, even if they run the ball under center, I don't agree with being in
yeah,
shotgun on the goal line. I don't like that at all because your running back, obviously, your quarterback and your running back, they're 5 yards, 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Under center, you at least get that running start, and they've been running a lot more under center the last couple of weeks. But I don't believe in gun on the goal line. I just don't. I love Chip, but yeah, I don't agree with that.
yeah. Well, this kind of brings up an interesting point because we're still learning about Chip Kelly and his different types of styles during a game. Now, obviously, we became very accustomed to Andy Reid, so we knew everything he was going to do, and we would complain a lot about a lot of things. And Andy Reid was very stubborn. Now, Chip Kelly is he's kind of similar in the fact that he's a stubborn guy like most NFL coaches are. They're very stubborn in what they do. They believe in their system and they're going to go with it. Now, the problem we have right now is we have a red zone problem, and that's something that you don't want in the NFL. Now, a major reason for that is the Eagles try to run their same offense in the red zone. And I kind of feel like if Chip Kelly wants to fix this problem, he's going to have to adapt his system once they get in the red zone, and they're going to have to go to a more traditional offense.
Yeah, if you're inside the 10-yard line, you can't be running what you're running from the 20 to the 20. You can't be doing that. You
Yeah.
got to run it more under center. No more shotgun bullshit at the 5. I don't want to see that stuff no more.
And even at the end of the game there, uh, very end when the Eagles had a chance to, get a touchdown pass and win it as time expired, it's didn't really like the play calls that they had in that situation. The Eagles don't really have a guy that's going to be able to go up and pull down a ball like the throws that they were trying to make to Ertz. Now I love Ertz, but I don't think he's that type of receiver where he's going to be able to go down and make a catch like that. And I mean, say I'll throw the ball to Cooper. Well, I have no faith in Cooper pulling down a pass like that. So they just don't have the type of players for a situation like that.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have Kelvin Benjamin, huh, for that
Yeah,
situation.
jeez.
Yeah, going back to that last drive, it's ridiculous. All the flags, all game, you have all these penalties, every little ticky-tack foul you can think of, and then when you have a clear horse collar, you don't call it. What? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that was definitely a pretty clear horse collar there. Not really sure why the refs picked up the flag on that, but actually kind of proved to be a critical point because the Eagles would have got an extra 15 yards on that play, which could have really helped, obviously, because we moved the ball down the field and got down near the 30-yard line there, so really would have helped out tremendously. But just it's tough to complain about the refs because it's the same for both teams, but I just felt like this game was just horribly officiated.
It felt like the preseason again. We remember how the preseason was. It
Yeah.
was one flag after another, just awfulness all around. And in this one, it was it was a lot like that. Flags every other play. There was no rhythm to the game. I believe the game went like 3 hours and 40 minutes. An
Yeah.
average game goes 3 hours, not 3 hours 40 minutes. That is way too long for a football game. And to have flags every other play, not only you're disturbing the rhythm of Chip Kelly's offense, the up tempo stuff. You can't run it when you have flags every other play. You can't do it.
Yeah, another thing was every time that they threw a flag, they would have to huddle up, and it took them 5 minutes to freaking discuss the play. I mean, it's pretty simple. Whether you think it was a horse collar or not a horse collar, but it was like they were out to dinner and they were having a big conversation about it. So that didn't, help into the, decisions here, but yeah, not a fan of those refs. They even said at the beginning of the game, they're like, "Oh, these refs like to make a lot of calls and all this stuff." Well, I don't want to see those refs again because they freaking blow.
A little big donkey dick, that's for sure.
Yeah, just like Nate Allen at the end.
Oh God. Get him off my football team. I started loving him for like a couple weeks, and he's back to being Nate. Nate the Great.
Well, yeah, the thing that's so frustrating, can't even say it because Nate Allen gets me so pissed off.
No, it's because you're drunk, dude.
Yeah, I'm fucking wasted drinking since the fucking Eagles lost. But Nate Allen makes a great play. He strips the ball there. He gets a big turnover for the Eagles, and then what do you know? He comes back and makes an idiotic play on defense. But he's just so inconsistent. When you think of Nate Allen, that's what I think of, inconsistent.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, all right. Let's move on to another point now, because I hear a lot of people talking about, well, Nick Foles threw the ball 62 times and Andy Reid wasn't here. Oh my God, why is he throwing the ball that many times? This this part of the game, I don't necessarily, agree with all the people saying that per se. Yeah, LaShawn McCoy got going in the fourth quarter. That 7 minute drive that led up to the field goal, he was gashing the Cardinals on the run. But everything prior to that, they weren't doing much on the ground. And obviously coming in, the Cardinals, they were ranked number one defensively against the run, 31st against the pass. I don't necessarily disagree with Chip's game plan of, letting Nick Foles wing it a little bit. Maybe not 62 times per se, but, I'm not hating on it as much as a lot of Eagles fans are.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can really fault the game plan in this one. I mean, you really, you look at the numbers. I mean, the game plan worked. I mean, they threw the ball all over this Cardinals team, and I mean, obviously, Macklin had an outstanding game. So you can't. I mean, the Eagles know going into the game that the Cardinals had the number one ranked rush defense. Now, also the Cardinals were bringing a tremendous amount of blitzes in the game, like you talked about, which was going to make it extremely hard to run the ball. McCoy did have some success when he did get the ball, so yeah, I felt like they had the right game plan going into this game. So yeah, definitely you can't fault that.
All right, let's run down the stats here. Nick Foles, the most pass attempts since, I believe, 1989 when Randall Cunningham uh, did, I forget how many attempts he had against the Chicago Bears, but 62 pass attempts in all. And I believe there's another stat where I saw that Foles is like the fifth quarterback ever to throw the ball at least 60 times and not get sacked. So that's even more remarkable that, he didn't even get sacked, although he got, pressured and hurried every play like we were talking about. But 36 to 62, 411 yards with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Macklin, a career day, 12 receptions, 187 yards and 2 touchdowns. And most of that was against all-pro cornerback Patrick Peterson, who got hurt. He had a concussion earlier in the first half. But, I'll tell you what, Macklin was burning them all game when he was in. I mean, that was really surprising to me to see that. Peterson, to me, is the top 5 corner in the league. But Macklin, man, he was running some real precise routes. McCoy did have the most rushing yards against the Cardinals this season. The previous high was 64 by, I believe, Rashad Jennings and Ronnie Hillman. McCoy goes for 21 carries for 83 yards, average of 4 yards a tote. I believe most of those carries came on that drive, that's the second to last drive the Eagles had. So, yeah, he had, he was, the first 3 quarters, he was okay, but that last quarter he was really good. Once again, still got to learn how to, you know, stop taking those big losses. And I'm referencing that one right after that turnover. Had all the momentum in the game, and it runs for like a 4 or 5 yard loss. Now on the Cardinals side of things, Carson Palmer did a tremendous job, eluding the pressure of the Eagles because the Eagles were getting after him too, and he was just getting the ball out quick. He was doing a fantastic job. Although he only completed 20 of 42 passes, but 329 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, and Larry Fitzgerald giving the Eagles fits again. 7 catches, 160 yards, and a touchdown. Really had a mediocre year coming in to the game, and he goes off against Philly. Really took advantage of the matchup against Brandon Boykin in the slot. When you got 6'5" going up against 5'9", it's not going to turn out too well. And honestly, we could see the Eagles' logic here of why they don't start Boykin on the outside. You could kind of see why in this particular game. John Brown, 5 catches, 119 yards, and a touchdown. Andre Ellington, the little shifty guy from Clemson, shifty back, 23 attempts, 71 yards, only averaged 3.1 yards a carry. So, and they held him in check in the passing game, only 3 catches for 14 yards. And the Eagles were a team that were struggling against opposing running backs coming in. I believe they were dead last in the league. So, did a good job on him, but couldn't corral Fitzgerald, couldn't corral John Brown. Obviously, Brown was the hero at the end. And, yeah, 24-20. Cardinals victory. Now, goddamn, hail to the Redskins. Hopefully, the Redskins can win tonight.
Yeah, well, you go through those stats, and the Eagles actually did a pretty nice job of holding Palmer and that Cardinals offense there in check. But the one problem was, those 2 big plays that, they killed us. And that's the thing about the Cardinals. Their offense, they're going to go for the home run. They're a home run hitting team. We talked about on the previous show. You got to try to limit that. You really only want one of those a game against a team like the Cardinals, but they got 2, and the second one proved to be the killer. So you count up those 2 big plays, and that really accounted for a majority of the Cardinals' offense.
Yeah, that Fitzgerald play in particular, Bradley Fletcher took an awful angle to that ball. Yeah, I want to see Nolan Carroll in the starting lineup now. I'm done. Bradley, get out of my team. Get off my team.
Yeah, actually, this was probably the most that we've seen Nolan Carroll on the field, and he did really well. He really stepped it up there, especially late in the game. You really saw him making some plays. Actually, almost could have came away with an interception on one play, but he wasn't looking at the ball. Something that most of our secondary seems to have an issue with this year. We got lucky on some of those throws in that Cardinals game. We have the Curtis Marsh infection. We brought that guy in during training camp in the preseason, and he infected everyone. It's a lot worse than the Ebola infection. So the Curtis Marsh infection is very bad. If your team has it, you want to try to get rid of it immediately because it'll ruin your secondary. So, yeah, it's a shame, but we've got to figure out how to get these cornerbacks to locate the ball.
Yeah, it's really amazing when the pressure can't get there, how these corners, the secondary, they just get picked apart. And you're saying, referencing earlier, that the one play that comes to mind was Michael Floyd had him in the right corner of the end zone, just overthrew a little bit, couldn't come down with the catch. Probably should have came down with the catch and didn't. And the Nolan Carroll play that you're talking about, it's a shame that he didn't play the ball because, yeah, he almost got his hands on that. And, it's crazy how close you can come to a victory. And, you get that pick there and you come away with a 20-17 win. But instead, a couple plays later, John Brown goes deep. And obviously on the last drive, only a couple inches for Jordan Matthews, too.
Yeah, well, you know what they need to do with these Eagles cornerbacks and their safeties is they need to put one of those locators on them. Like they do with sharks. You need to put a nice locator on. We'll call it the ball locator instead of a shark locator. So that way, anytime the ball is coming towards them, it'll start to light up. It'll maybe buzz a little bit so that they know that the ball is coming and they can turn around and look for it. But in our case, some guys might have a problem like that. Kerry Williams, he wouldn't be a fan of that. He would have to open his big black lips and he would have to make some kind of statement about how the ball locator is not working for him. So he's one guy I wouldn't work for, but everyone else would be able to adapt to the ball locator.
It's kind of like that little fox thing that they had with hockey back in the day. The little
Yeah.
puck would light up.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's what they need. The ball locator. But yeah. Just yeah, I mean this secondary. I mean we knew it was going to be a problem, but we kind of masked the deficiencies the last couple of weeks, especially the Giants game before the bye. But yeah, if I mean that's the thing about this game. We actually you're not going to see in the stats, but the Eagles got a lot of pressure on Carson Palmer. But that's actually one thing I was impressed with Carson. He did a nice job of getting the ball away pretty fast.
Yeah, yeah. I was not expecting that from him at all. That first half they were really ratcheting up the pressure. Vinny Curry, Brandon Graham, Trent Cole were bringing it. Connor Barwin too, and they just couldn't get to him. And that's why his completion percentage wasn't that great. He was only 20 of 42, but
Yeah.
most of that was because he was getting rid of the ball. Just kind of throwing it away. But he wasn't taking sacks. Yeah, pressure was getting there. He just couldn't get to him, and he took care of the ball and no fifth in the end. Oh. Damn it, I need another beer. We still have like an hour left. This isn't good. I
Yeah.
should have brought a couple with me.
Gonna need a few.
Oh, I drank mine too quick. I've been so depressed last day. I mean, just one after another, counting these things.
Uh, yeah. Well, that'll happen when Carson Palmer is 6-1.
Oh. Oh, and you bring that up, that they're 6-1. I really hope this loss doesn't come back and bite us in the ass because
Yeah.
now you think the Cardinals might win the NFC West. I'm still not sure because maybe the Niners get hot, maybe the Seahawks get hot, and they win the division. We saw last year the NFC. Cardinals went 11-5. They didn't make the playoffs, and you look this year already. You have Dallas at 6-1. I mean, Romophobia will kick in, so they still probably wind up losing anyway, but we'll see. Maybe not. Eagles are 5-2. You have Green Bay at 5-3. You have Detroit at 6-2. You have all these great teams right now. And Seattle, San Francisco, they're both 4-3, and the Cardinals are 6-1. So you have all these teams fighting for these playoff spots. And if the Eagles say they go 11-5, Cardinals are 11-5 for that last seed, the sixth seed. I hope this doesn't bite us in the ass. I really hope not.
I hope not either, because if it does, it's gonna be like a damn rattlesnake bite, and it's gonna be poisonous, and we're gonna be dead, and we might not even make the playoffs. And if that happens, then we have to go back and look at this damn game and be a freaking inch away from the playoffs. Well, you're going to see a lot of people jumping off the bridge in Philadelphia because, Jesus Christ, we don't have much else going on right now. We've got the freaking tanking Philadelphia 76ers, so we might have to wait a century before they're good. We've got the Phillies and Ruben Amaro Jr. Well, he wants to sign guys like Grady Sizemore and Jerome Williams, so, well, you got another 5-10 years on that plan. And then the Flyers, well, with them, you can just count on them getting knocked out of the playoffs every year. So, yeah, right now, we better hope that the Eagles do some. Otherwise, we're going to be in the Great Depression in Philadelphia.
Oh, you're not kidding, man. Jerome Williams got signed. Ruin Tomorrow Jr., man. Keeps ruining tomorrow. He just keeps doing it. Grady Sizemore, a guy that can't stay on the field, who signs him too. Oh, boy. Oh,
Yeah.
shaking my head. Shaking my head.
It just makes your head hurt.
God, we need to make the playoffs. We need to make the playoffs, and especially
Yeah.
this season because I keep talking about it. There is, well, the Broncos, but there's really no
Mm.
damn drunk, dominant team in the conference. There really isn't. Seattle won the Super Bowl last year. You know, I think a lot of you guys might know. I'm not really a big Seahawks guy. I kind of thought their Super Bowl was a fluke. I'm not a big fan of them. You look at all these Super Bowl winning teams over the years. A lot of them are a lot better than the Seahawks. And I mean, we're kind of seeing it now a little bit. I mean, obviously the Percy Harvin thing is going to affect them a lot, and they don't have Golden Tate either. So you know, right now they have no one playing wide receiver. They were able to squeak out a win yesterday, but you look at this conference, there's not much there. You know, Green Bay maybe, but they don't play defense. Who else is there? Dallas, please. They can't even beat a team. Well, all right, Seattle's over 500 now, but they haven't beaten anybody.
Yeah, I think that this is really going to come down that the Eagles are going to have to win the division here, and it's going to come down to those two games against the Cowboys. They're going to be the two biggest games of the year. If they can win both of those games, Eagles win the divisions. If the Eagles split those games, I'm not feeling too good. So I mean, we really got to beat those Cowboys twice.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up this Cowboys schedule real quick because I'm not kidding with you. They play literally nobody whatsoever. I
Yeah,
believe they do play the Cardinals
next
on Sunday.
next week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's a big game.
yeah, huge game, and you know I hope to God that the Cardinals can squeak that one out for us. Let's see. I'm going to pull up this schedule, and while I do, yeah, just keep bashing the Cowboys.
Yeah, well, the Cowboys. They're playing the Bears late in the season, which I thought was going to be a tough game. But right now, the Bears are a complete disaster, and now that's turning into a win for the Cowboys. So there's these games that just keep popping up as wins for the Cowboys. You looked at their schedule in the beginning of the year, and you counted the losses. You thought you had a pretty decent amount of losses there, maybe 6, 7 losses. But as the season has played out here, geez, I mean, they've kind of gotten lucky with the draw.
And you know, there's a lot of games here that they could have lost. The St. Louis game they didn't play well. They really could have lost that one. Houston, Aaron Foster ran all over them. But they were able to squeak those ones out, and they're 6-1 right now. So you look at this. Oh my goodness, this schedule: Washington at home, Cardinals at home. That's probably the toughest game they have this year. At Jacksonville, that's a win. At New York, who knows? Because the Giants right now aren't playing good football. And obviously you play Philly at home on Thanksgiving, at Chicago, at Philly, Indianapolis at home. That'll be a tough game. And then you close out the year at Washington. And the Redskins, by that point, they're going to be way out of it. And they're not going to be with Arakpo. They're not going to be with a lot of guys. Griffin, I'm assuming, even though they're saying he might return this year, if they're this bad, I don't know why you'd bring him back. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's nothing there for the Cowboys. Romophobia is really going to have to kick in this year for them to choke.
Yeah, I've got 3 losses for them the rest of the way, so that's not good for us. That means that we better play our freaking asses off because we've still got to go to places like Green Bay. We've got to host, Seattle here in addition to playing the Cowboys still. So yeah, we've got to fix this turnover problem. I think that that's the biggest thing right now, and I mean, honestly, we should be thankful for the position that we're in because I believe that we're like third in the league maybe in turnovers. We're up there.
Yeah, Nick Foles right now, nine interceptions, the most through 7 games since Randall Cunningham in 19. God, I forget what the number is, but it's since Randall in like 1990 or something. So it's a lot of picks he's throwing right now. A lot of McNabb haters. never had this many picks through this many games. So, Foles is throwing his lot of interceptions.
Yeah, he's got to fix this problem. I know that he likes to go in there and put his glasses on and look like the Napoleon Dynamite and watch a game film. But I mean, he might have to stay in that film room some extra time this week. He might have to sleep there. Whatever he's got to do, he's got to fix this problem because it's becoming a major issue.
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe they can start running the ball more because they're going to have their lineman back in
Yeah.
no time. Evan Mathis is going to be back week 10. Kelsey, you would think, is going to be back by week 10. So maybe you start running the ball more, start incorporating more play action passing. Because I looked at the stats for his play action stats according to Pro Football Focus, and I go like this because you can't really take them seriously sometimes.
Mm.
But he is third according to Pro Football Focus in play action passing. So is when he's in rhythm and he has his feet set, he can pick you apart. But he just the pressure's getting to him this year. He doesn't have the same time he had last year, and he's making mistakes. When his his hips yesterday. If you look at that interception in the red zone, not only did I guess I guess it was Huff, I believe, his intended receiver. He was running sluggo, slant and
Yeah.
go, and he was like, I can't show you because I'm on a webcam, but he's back to pass, and he had his feet set initially. Man, I'm drunk too, man. Jesus Christ, I can't get the words out either. So he has his feet set, and then he hesitates, like pump fakes, and then he like slides a little bit to his left, and he kind of throws like flat-footed, and he had nothing on that ball. That was like the easiest interception of all time. And you're inside the red zone. Like, you can't make that throw. You just can't.
Yeah, he's got to work on his, you know, hips here. Maybe I know that he's married, right? He's a married guy now. Obviously, he's not spending enough time in the bedroom with his wife and working on his moves. Moves in the bedroom that could translate over to the football field. So that's not a good sign for Foles in the bedroom. He's going to have to, work on that. His wife is going to have to teach him some new tricks because this year it's not working. The thing was it's kind of unfair for the guy because he went out last year and he set the bar so high that he was never going to be able to surpass that. I mean, you need a special quarterback to be able to surpass that, and it was like kind of like this, false hope that we had. And maybe we had this like really great quarterback, but it's team saw him for a year. Now they have game film on him, and obviously they're seeing that if you pressure him and he doesn't set his feet, that's how you beat him. So he's going to have to adjust now and figure out, a way to beat that. Last year, people were complaining because he took sacks. This year, people are complaining because he's throwing interceptions. He's got to find a happy medium.
Yeah, yeah. I got the solution. He's got to get some lessons with Shakira because her hips don't lie.
There you go. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll definitely do it. He'll come out and he'll be a machine. He'll even surpass his totals from last year.
Oh man. That's the thing though. You bring up a somewhat interesting point there. His expectations were so high. He set the bar. He was up here. He went through this glass ceiling. He was up to the moon. So now he's like come back to reality, and now it's like all these Philadelphians that, oh my God, we need to draft Marcus Mariota. We need to figure out a way to get him. All this stuff. It's like we forget that he's still a young guy. There's still a lot to learn, man.
Yeah.
Not that I'm comparing him to like Tom Brady or anything, but when Tom Brady was in his third year in the league, he wasn't this good either. So it takes time, and you got to learn the tricks of the trade. And he's regressing. It happens. He's having
Yeah.
a bad year. I'm not going to give up on the guy. I know you're not going to give up on the guy. We're going to be the last ones on the bandwagon. Trust me. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to happen. You know, I can't even like, people already give up on him already. I'm like waiting until like next year. I'm
Oh
like
yeah.
almost giving him a pass for this season. If he's doing this next year too for the whole season, then maybe I'll move on from him. But if you're not even like halfway through the season, and guys want to throw him, want Mark Sanchez in there, and they want Marcus Mariota. They want to give up all these future picks to move up in the draft to take Mariota. No, that's not what you should do. They're 5-2 right now. Okay, they're 5-2. All right, it's not like they're 2-5 or 1-6 like the Raiders and the Titans. And no, they're 5-2. All right, so sometimes you just got to keep calm, chip on. All right, I know Philadelphians tend to get like this, all this stuff, but you really just got to relax. Aaron Rodgers really said it best. You just got to relax, relax. Just let it happen. All right, because there's still time left in the season. He's gonna get offensive linemen back. Hopefully, he gets better protection. But man, it's like the guy put up 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions last year, and it's like we already forget that he did that. It's unbelievable, it's ridiculous sometimes. These freaking fans, man.
Yeah, well, that's why the fans don't run this team, and that's why, Chip Kelly is the coach because, he's not going to make such a quick decision like that and an irrational one. A lot of people don't think this through when they say something like this that you should go and put Sanchez in. I mean, let's look at this and be real about it. If they go in, if they take out Foles right now, you're pretty much claiming that Foles is not your quarterback for the future. And if you go and you put Sanchez in, Sanchez come out and he blows like he did with the Jets mostly, then, well, now you're really in trouble. You would really be banking on Sanchez to come out and play like he did in the preseason, which I don't think he would. I think that he would be throwing some interceptions and people would be complaining again. So, yeah, that's why I don't get the whole argument.
Do people realize how bad Mark Sanchez was with the Jets? Like, really? The butt fumble? All these shenanigans that he had going on, eating hot dogs on the sideline, and you want this guy to be your quarterback? Really? You want him to be your quarterback because he had a couple good games in the preseason? No, no. This is like back in 2000, 2003. No, it was 2000, 2002, I guess it was, when McNabb gets hurt in the Arizona game. Has that great game or whatever, on a broken ankle, and AJ Feely takes over. AJ Feely has a couple good games, but let's face it, that defense carried us to the playoffs that year, during those last stretch of games. It wasn't AJ Feely, and all of a sudden you had all these people. AJ Feely is better than McNabb. Let's have him play in the playoffs. And it was the same thing. And then when McNabb started, it was like, why are we starting McNabb? We're winning with Felix. No, people just don't get it, man.
Yeah, no, they really don't get it. And, the other thing with Foles, I think a great example of how Foles excels is you go back and you look at that Giants game. And this is really how the Eagles' offense is supposed to run under Chip Kelly. When they get that running game going, I mean, that opens up everything in the playbook for them. And then the offensive line is able to protect for Foles because, teams, they can't just, blitz all the time. So, really, the running game is the key. Once they get that running game going, everything goes through McCoy. And then Foles settles in, really, and does his job. So, yeah, that's what I think. So that's why I don't think there should be this rush to say, oh, put Sanchez in there. Yeah, you just got to let the year ride out with Foles and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Just let it happen, people. We're not saying that he's an elite quarterback because he's not.
Yeah, yeah.
Not. He's never going to be an elite quarterback. It's not going to happen. He doesn't have the physical talent to be an elite quarterback. He doesn't have the arm strength and all this stuff. But I keep saying it. When it's crunch time, and the game's on the line, he does come through. I mean, even that last drive, he got him down the field, and it happened in the San Francisco game too. He struggles all game, and he somehow finds a way to win at the end. And he did it again, but it's like, you just hopefully he cleans up the mistakes. Last year the problem was like, well, we complained that he only threw 2 interceptions because we complained that he wasn't trying to make plays down the field. And now it's like this year, because he's trying to fit balls in the windows and trying to make plays. Now all of a sudden we're throwing him under the bus. So it's like people got to make up their minds.
Yeah, well, when someone wants to talk about, taking Foles out, I just think about this. Would you rather have the Jets quarterback situation right now, Geno Smith or Michael Vick, and they don't even know who the hell they're going to start next week? I mean, come on, we've got it pretty good with Foles. I mean, let's not say we want Sanchez in there. I mean, and people wanted to get Geno Smith in an Eagles uniform. Whew, that guy is bad.
Geno.
They weren't singing that yesterday.
No.
They were singing another version. It is so bad right now for the Jets that they were actually cheering when Michael Vick, a pit bull killer, came into the game. That's how bad it is right now with the Jets. And their coach doesn't even know what the hell is going on. So our quarterback situation is not so bad.
Here a pick, there a pick, everywhere a Vic pick. Leaving the game.
Yeah, everywhere a pick for the Jets yesterday.
Oh my God, I think Smith. I forget what I saw it was, but he had more interceptions than he had completions yesterday. 3 quick picks, got the hook, and he was gone. And I remember too, man. You said this a little bit, a couple minutes ago. Yeah, people wanted Geno Smith as our franchise quarterback. Can you believe that? Oh, do you see why we didn't want this guy? This guy is a joke. He's not any good. They got a nice little system there at West Virginia. Clint Trickett's doing a hell of a job there now too. So, sometimes you can't be fooled by the system.
Yeah, it was Geno Smith or Zach Ertz. Who do you want? Taking Ertz all day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ertzy, baby. Ertzy. Oh,
yeah.
It's funny looking back.
But my heart is still hurting from yesterday. Even all this beer, it's not helping. I think the only thing that's going to help is somehow if Deshaun Jackson goes in to Dallas tonight and has like 2-3 touchdowns, and they somehow beat the Cowboys. He's going to have to bring his gun, maybe shoot Romo or Dez Bryant before the game. The guy's got to help us out somehow, pay us back a little bit, right?
Well, he doesn't care about winning. He just, as long as he gets his 100 yards and a touchdown, that's all he cares about. So,
right.
Yeah,
maybe he'll just get his 100 yards, get a touchdown. And then even, if the Redskins lose a game, afterwards, he'll just go on a rampage and, hopefully take out, one of their top players because we need it. We need something good to happen after this tough Eagles loss. I mean, can't the Redskins do something this year? Do something good? I mean, Jesus, they're just atrocious. I mean, jeez.
Colt McCoy. We're going to have to hang our hopes on Colt McCoy tonight.
Yeah, he's going to do it. He's going to pull out a miracle.
Oh, man.
Now, this actually brings up a point now, because I want to talk about this. I think that teams are totally defending the Cowboys wrong this year. If I was a team playing the Cowboys, I would just totally focus on DeMarco Murray and Dez Bryant. What are you going to do? I think you got to let Escobar, Witten, or Terrence Williams beat you.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'm with you there.
I don't know why teams aren't doubling Dez Bryant, stuffing the box against Murray. I mean, that's what I would be doing.
Well, clearly, over the years, the Cowboys, they don't run the ball, and now all of a sudden they're running the
Mhm.
ball, and it's like catching teams by surprise. So maybe teams will start catching on to it and, start stopping the run more. Now, the other stat I saw, Murray had the most rushing attempts through the first, I believe, 7 games, the most since
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson back in 1975. So he's carrying the ball an awful lot. Now, one of those hammies, hopefully one of those hammies give away. That's another thing we can hope for.
Yeah, well, OJ got away with murder, and DeMarco Murray is doing the same thing. He's getting away with murder too because he's got one hell of an offensive line to run, behind there. So he's one lucky son of a bitch right now.
Oh, I hate the fact that people are classifying them as the best offensive line in the league. Do they forget who's on our offensive line when we're healthy? We got the best offensive line in the league. Don't let them fool us. We got the best. Jason Peters, Evan Mathis. There's no better left side of the line than ours. And then you got Lane Johnson. He's coming into his own. You got Todd Harriman, and we got one of the best centers in football, in Jason Kelsey. So I don't want to hear this bullshit that they're the best offensive line in the league because they're not. They don't match us. Not happening.
Yeah, I mean that we'll definitely find out when we play them twice. It'll be a great matchup, between the offensive lines, and we'll see who is better. But yeah, when that Eagles offensive line is completely healthy, you can see all the things that they can do. One of the guys that we didn't talk about, and was kind of played a big factor in this game against the Cardinals, was not having Darren Sproles. Obviously, he is turned into a big time punt returner for us. And we didn't have a punt returner yesterday. I mean, we had Macklin back there, and Jesus Christ, did Macklin say his prayers before the game began because he got very lucky. He fielded 2 punts that somehow bounced right in front of him and came right up into his gut, and he was able to hold on to it. Now, those could have been 2 fumbles.
Now, since you bring up Macklin again, the play that immediately comes to mind was we got to get a GIF of that play where he ran over the Gatorade stand. Oh my goodness. Oh, is it in you or is it on you, Jeremy?
Oh boy, yeah. I mean, that was wild. I mean, thank God that he turned out to be all right. But bizarre scene there along the sidelines. I guess he was thirsty, but he didn't get any in his mouth. He just got it all over his uniform.
Yeah, those water boys were pissed, man. They had a whole table lined up. He
They,
knocked over everything.
yeah, this damn guy. They had to do their damn job now.
Oh man. All right. Uh, I guess I guess we can move on a little bit. All right. I guess we could talk a little bit about play-by-play. Although it's a little bit difficult doing this on video
Yeah,
now. All right. I guess we'll do a little bit. Okay. All right. So I just remember the first drive in particular for the Cardinals. Well, the Eagles, they go quick 3 and out, and the Cardinals. I mean, that first drive that they had, um, penalties galore. So 3 penalties for 30 yards for the Eagles, and the Cardinals move the ball only 22 yards, and then they Eagles force a punt. And the Eagles on their second drive, they go down the field, and I'll tell you what, I love that play call to Macklin to have Johnson out there on the perimeter blocking for him. That was great. Fake the little screen, McCoy come back right to Macklin, and that was as easy of a touchdown as you'll see in this league.
yeah. It was a good play design there. You got Lane Johnson out there blocking. So yeah, it was good play design, and it worked out.
Yeah, yes sir. All right, yeah, this play-by-play is not going to be easy doing this. All right, we're gonna have to like not do this now. Um, but
Yeah, it's tough to do. I mean, really, the main part of the game was the end, like we talked about. Um, yeah, I mean, well, early on, I mean, what it was 7-7 at halftime.
yeah, I believe so. Yeah, 7-7 at the break. Ellington had a touchdown So basically, what you want to know in the first half is you had the two fumbles. Well, the two turnovers. The one fumble by Huff and the interception by Foles. Because the Eagles were pretty much dominating the first half. I believe, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly, it was 225 to 145 in total yards, but you had 8 penalties for 80 yards and the two turnovers that really haunted the Eagles.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're exactly right there. So there's obviously turnovers, like we talked about, proved to be a big killer for us. I better turn my light on here. It looks like it's getting a little bit darker. Oh, there we are. Now you can see me.
Oh
I
wow, look at
was,
you! Now you're coming in nice and clear, nice and clear.
yeah, I was, starting to get into hibernation, but now I'm out of hibernation.
Oh man, yeah. So 7-7 at the break.
Yeah, and
Yeah, we
if
pretty much discussed the most of the game anyway.
yeah. I mean, you know what? At halftime, though, you're kind of like sitting there and you're like kind of pissed off because you're like, here we are, 7-7. We should have had literally, 14 more points because of those damn turnovers. And, obviously, I mean, us being huge Eagles fans, we've watched many and many Eagles games where this happens, and they make stupid turnovers and they don't get points, and it comes back to haunt them in the end. And well, same thing happened in this game.
Yeah. Yeah. Except this time it really, really bit them. Unlike earlier in the season. But
Yeah,
if you want to take a positive spin on this one, because they shouldn't have won the Colts game. They won that game. They pulled that one out of their ass. Maybe they could have lost the Redskins game. So yeah, you lose this one, but you're still 5-2. You're still very much in the mix, top the NFC. It just sucks because the Cowboys are 6-1 and they don't play anybody.
yeah, no, yeah, you're right. I mean, you really, you look at the upcoming schedule, and the Eagles have to win their next two games before they go in to Green Bay. I feel like if they can win their next two games, that they'll still be in good shape. Now, you talk about the rest of the NFC, and Eagles are kind of in a fortunate situation because you have a lot of powerhouse teams. You got like the Packers and teams like the Saints, the 49ers, Seahawks, teams that you have mentioned that are really struggling early on in the season here. So they're piling up some losses. Even a game last night with the Saints beating the Packers actually kind of helped out the Eagles.
Yeah, I agree. And I just pulled up the Eagles' schedule here. The next two games, you got to win these two games if you want to combat in the NFC East now. Because Dallas, they're probably going to go like at least 11-5, if
Yeah.
not 12-4. I mean, they just don't play anybody. So you got at Houston and Carolina on Monday night before that Green Bay game, and that Green Bay game is probably not going to be a win. It's not a good matchup for us. The way Rodgers gets rid of the ball so fast and going up against our secondary, yeah, it's just not going to work out. So I'm not feeling good about that one unless Matt Flynn has to step in and be their backup like it kind of was last year with Scott Tolzien. I will say this though, that Seattle game late in the year, that's sandwiched in between those Dallas games, that's all of a sudden a game that I think the Eagles can get now. Early on, when the schedule came out, I was like, oh, that's automatically a loss. But now I'm feeling a little bit better about it. The Seahawks can be had. They don't. We talked about Percy Harvin leaving them, and he's not. He was a big difference for them in terms of their attack. He was a big part of the offense on the jet sweeps, and not only running the jet sweeps, but opening up things offensively for everyone else. Opening up the running game for Marshawn Lynch. You can fake the jet sweep and give it to Lynch. A lot of deceptions being caused, but now they don't have them. And again, they don't have Golden Tate either. He left via free agency to Detroit. So they have guys like Jermaine Kearse, Doug Baldwin, Carter Lockett. Paul Richardson, a rookie from Colorado. There's not much there. This is a team that can be beat, and we've seen this year their defense doesn't look as good as they were last year. They're not getting as much pressure on the quarterback. Yeah, that secondary is still the best in football, but they're, you know, Dallas ran the ball on them. Um, whoever they played last week, the Rams ran the ball on them. The St. Louis Rams ran the ball on the Seahawks. So if those guys can run the ball on them, then the Eagles should be able to too. With the healthy offensive line, you're gonna have McCoy at full strength, running behind those big boys. So that's a game all of a sudden I think that can be had, and that might be the swing game that helps the Eagles possibly win the NFC East if they can get that one. And you got to at least split in Dallas, but obviously you're hoping to get both of those teams.
Yeah, I mean, I really couldn't have said it better. That's exactly what's got to happen. That Seahawks game will be huge, and it's a now you look at games like that, which could go either way, and before you could say, oh, yeah, maybe the Eagles they could lose that one and they still be in all right shape, but right now with the Cowboys playing like they are, it's not looking like that. Any game that could go either way, the Eagles got to come away with the victory.
Yeah, yeah. Got to keep winning games, really, at this point. It's not
Yeah.
like the last few years in the NFC East where 10-6, 9-7 is going to win you the division. This year is looking like 11-5, 12-4 is going to win you the crown. So you just got to keep winning at all costs. No more losing. Failure is not an option.
That's right. No more failing. But yeah, I mean, we recapped the game pretty well. I mean, here we are. We've got this new Google Hangout that we're trying out, and I like it. So, we've been using Block Talk Radio for a while, but this is the different, and I think it's working out.
Yeah, and we have faces for TV. We are drop dead gorgeous. We're sexy as hell. So we should not be on radio. We should be on television so everyone can see who we are, see our pretty little faces. Although I'm sure most Eagles fans are guys, but there are a lot of girls out there that like the Eagles as well. So at least you got some sexy meat to look at now.
Yeah, and you can't tell, but I'm actually a fat guy, down below, but I just have a pretty face.
Oh, you are not fat. What are you talking about, man? Jesus Christ. See, we talk about food all the time on our radio show, and I always bring up the fact that Mike he eats the worst. Uh, yeah, he has the worst diet of
Yeah.
all mankind. I mean, Burger King every other day. I mean, oh, I don't know how he does it. Wawa goodies every day, bringing in hoagies, bringing in quesadillas, bringing in all these snacks, and God damn it, the guy just doesn't gain a pound. I don't understand. It's not fair. And then you got me. I'm average size, but I eat yogurts every day. I don't get the luxury of, going to Five Guys every 2 days and getting a double cheeseburger with fries. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's a tough life that I live. I'm gonna be like the guy from Jarrett on Subway. I'm gonna make a commercial, except that my commercial will be a lot different. You'll see me on a lot of fast food commercials. See me on Burger King, McDonald's. Yeah, and I'll say this is how I lost all my weight. You know, I eat 10 burgers a day, 10 hot dogs a day, a pizza a day, throw in some cheese fries, and I'm good to go. So it's gonna, hit the airways and it'll become, the national diet pretty soon.
You are the lone exception, my man. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how
Yeah,
it's possible, but yeah, you just keep eating and stay the same.
who knows? It's a mystery.
But yeah, man, you said it perfectly. Yeah, we're trying something new out. We're doing videos now. Blog Talk Radio has kind of let us down the last couple of times. For whatever reason, the show's been cutting off. So, we're gonna have to, yeah, we're gonna have to fire them. We're gonna have to discontinue our membership with them. So hopefully, all the viewers that we had for the radio show will now be transitioned here. Hopefully, they'll know who we are. So we're going to put
Yeah.
this video on YouTube. It'll be on YouTube. So youtube.com/bitterbirds. We got our own account. I'm also doing videos. I'm sure Mike will be doing some videos as well. So yeah, just keep tuning into our channel. Follow us on Twitter at the Bitterbirds. And yeah, I really like the way this turned out today.
Thing with this is if people actually have a Google Plus account, they can come and hang out with us. We used to, be able to take calls when we were on Block Talk Radio, but now, people can actually come, and if they, want to show their face on webcam, they can come and, talk to us. There is a way that, you could turn your webcam off so you don't have to be on. You could just have your mic on and you could talk if you want to. Also, there's a chat option in this thing, so if people wanted to chat while we're doing this show here, they can do that as well.
Yeah, a lot of interesting and cool features here on the little Google Hangout. I'm glad we figured this out and found a way to do it because, yeah, we found our solution to the future. No more blog talk, no more radio. Time for TV.
That's right. Time to, go big time.
Go big or go home, baby.
That's right.
All right, so I think with that, we're going to end this show. I like the
Yeah.
way it went. Talked a lot of good stuff, brought up everything, talked the whole game. So yeah, with that being said, that was Mike Owens. I'm Adrian Fedkiw. Tune in next time. I guess we're going to be doing a preview on Google Plus now.
Yeah, we'll be doing a preview Google Plus. I guess Thursday, I believe, will be the day like usual.
Yeah, I'm trying
So
to think of when I have work. I think I'm like 5 to 1, so we can be done
yeah.
at like 2 o'clock.
Well, the nice part about this Google Plus now is that we technically won't have to set up a time for the show to start,
Yeah,
so it can be kind of more sporadic, and we can also, have it planned out in advance, and we can, promote it a little bit, further ahead of time.
yeah. So yeah, we don't have to wait a certain time. We can just do it whenever we want, and yeah, just do the show, do it live, and just keep doing big things. Bitter Bird just keeps soaring above all heights.
Doing it live.
Yes, sir. All right, so I think
All
we'll
right.
end it now. That's Mike Owens. We need to end it because I need more alcohol. I
Yeah.
just can't get over this loss, so I need to have another beer. It's dinner time too, so I'm hungry. I'm thirsty, and hopefully go Redskins tonight. Hail to the Foreskins.
Go Redskins. Go to Sean. Bring your gun to the game.
All right. With that being said, that was Mike Owens. I'm Adrian Fedkiw. We're out of here. Go Birds, baby.
Go Birds.